In our Law and Justice lead, two police officers who defended the Capitol during the January 6th insurrection have filed a lawsuit asking a judge to order the installation of a plaque honoring the police officers who protected the building during that attack. The legislation authorizing the memorial received bipartisan support at the time. It was passed by the House. It was passed by the Senate. It was signed into law by President Biden in 2022. That was more than 3 years ago. And the plaque still has not been installed. And now former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn and D.C. Metropolitan Police Officer Daniel Hodges say, quote, they're bringing the suit to compel Congress to follow its own law and install the mandated memorial to honor the women and men who saved the lives of those inside the building and to ensure that the history of this attack on the Capitol and on democracy is not forgotten, unquote. One would think it wouldn't be that controversial to install this plaque. It's already been made. It's been sitting in storage since last year. It reads, quote, on behalf of a grateful Congress, this plaque honors the extraordinary individuals who bravely protected and defended the symbol of democracy on January 6, 2021. Their heroism will never be forgotten, unquote. Also, there's already a plaque of a similar size already hanging in the Capitol. This one honors officers Jacob Chestnut and Detective John Gibson, who were killed in the line of duty in 1998. So why hasn't this new plaque been installed? Well, here's the reason the architect of the Capitol gave back in April.
When making modifications on the House side of campus or on the House side of the Capitol building, past practice is that for modifications are directed by the office of the Speaker. We have not received final instructions to install the plaque.
So House leadership changed in 2023 when Republicans took control of Congress. Then there was a whole bunch of drama about who the Speaker would be. And that was before the plaque was ready to be installed. But the architect says he needs direction of the current House Speaker, Mike Johnson from Louisiana, to hang the plaque. But that Speaker Johnson has not given that authorization yet. Now, Democrats say Republicans are trying to rewrite, if not erase, history.
The reason why the law hasn't been complied with and a plaque hasn't been erected is because Republicans, directed by their puppet master, Donald Trump, have been told, try to erase January 6th as if it has never happened.
Here's the reason given by now former Capitol Police Chief Tom Manger.
Like so many things here, it just has become a very politically divisive issue. And my hope is that that both sides can, find some middle ground to find a way to honor those officers that were here on the 6th.
What kind of world are we in that honoring police officers who defended the Capitol, including those no longer with us because of that horrible day, who protected the Capitol, including protecting many of these very same House Republicans? What kind of a world is this too political? CNN has reached out to Speaker Johnson's office for comment. We have not heard back. When CNN asked Speaker Johnson about it last month, he said the issue was not on his radar. We should remind you, more than 140 police officers were injured on January 6. One of them, Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, died in the immediate aftermath. Then Speaker Nancy Pelosi told Brian Sicknick's mom, Gladys Sicknick, that Congress would put up a plaque honoring her son in the Capitol. And the Sicknick family had this mock-up made that we're showing you exclusively right now, but they have heard nothing from the Capitol, from House leadership, from Speaker Johnson's office. The Sicknick family feels left in the lurch, as do so many officers. Joining us now, Metropolitan Police Officer Daniel Hodges, one of the officers who filed this lawsuit to force the hanging of the plaque. Also with us, former Capitol Police Sergeant Aquilino Gonell. They both defended the Capitol on January 6th. Daniel, we should note, is here in his personal capacity and not on behalf of his employer. And Aquilino Gonell, as we know, is retired, which we've covered before. Why did you and Harry Dunn, the other officer that brought this lawsuit, why did you decide to file this lawsuit?
It's really simple. My colleagues deserve it. They sacrificed themselves. They sacrificed their health, their peace of mind. Some of them sacrificed their jobs. Some of them made the ultimate sacrifice to defend democracy, to make sure that our elected leaders had the time to get away safely, to make sure the vice president was safe, to make sure the transfer of power happened and that the will of the people was carried out. But it's politically inconvenient for certain powers in Congress that they acknowledge the truth. And they're unless someone forces them to do it, they're not going to. So we have to do everything we can to make sure that the truth is not erased and that we remember January 6th for what it was, which was a violent insurrection against the United States of America.
And Sergeant Gonell, why do you think the House leaders, Speaker Johnson, others, have not yet hung up this plaque? Do you have a theory? Have you talked to anybody who has given you an answer?
No, to this day, not a single member of Congress from the Republican side has reached out to any of us from the Republican side, except for Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, to get to find out what we went and endure. There's a lack of courage, I think, in my opinion, for them not to install the plaque. They continue to defer to the architect of the Capitol, and the architect of the Capitol deferred back to Speaker Mike Johnson to a point in the past. Off the record, Speaker Mike Johnson said to one reporter, "I'm still undecided on to which bathroom to install the plaque," and that's a disgrace because he's only alive today because of the effort that we did on January 6th to help him escape from that peaceful mob that was intended to harm elected officials from every single state of the country.
So earlier this week, President Trump said he was talking about the need to protect the ICE officers conducting these deportation raids in Los Angeles and elsewhere. He said, when they spit, we hit, and said it's disgraceful that ICE officers can't be safe. What was your reaction when you heard that, given the fact that this is obviously happening, not to mention the pardons that President Trump issued of the very people who were beating you in that horrific video when you're stuck and you're screaming?
Yeah, it's just more smug pandering. My immediate reaction was remembering all the times I've been spat on the job and not hit the person because I'm not a child. I can control myself. But Donald Trump doesn't actually care about the police, and he doesn't care about the military. It's why he called my fellow veterans suckers and losers. It's why he pardoned all these people who assaulted us on January 6th. He doesn't care about any of that. He cares about anything that secures his power and increases his wealth. And because, for whatever reason, the American people saw fit to elect him to the presidency again, it is law enforcement's job to secure his power until his time in office is over. So that's why he wants to continue to pander to law enforcement and build up this idea that the GOP is the party of law and order, so that the law enforcement will be on his side.
I know it's also been disappointing for you guys as veterans and law enforcement officers that law enforcement organizations have not really stood with you.
Correct. And that's kind of like the fallacy that in the service as well, the lack of, not the lack of, the indifference that we have been shown from our fellow colleagues. Because I could, right now, I could sympathize with what they're going through in LA with the riots, whatnot, but they did not sympathize with what we went through on January 6th. And when he says, the president, that he would, even if you spit on one of the agents, they're going to face the weight of the prosecutions. That's the type of response that we wanted on January 6th,
right.
And we didn't get it at all. So for him,
well, you got it. It's just that he then pardoned them.
Well, his response to sending the National Guard, that's what I mean, that we didn't get.
Yeah.
And then he pardoned the people who assaulted us.
Thanks to both of you, and I assure you that on this show and among me and my staff, we have not forgotten, and we honor the service and what you did that day. So thank you.
Thank you.
On a personal level.
And one last thing. The lawsuit was brought up not for millions of dollars, frivolous lawsuit like the Proud Boys are doing, or the Ashley Babbitt family. It's just to honor the officers, our colleagues. So they talk about restitutions to the attackers who caused all that damage, but not to the officers who endure the injuries that we sustained.
And I know you were medically discharged because of your injuries from that day. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for what you do and what you did.
Appreciate it.